I remember, Sir Brian Lahore, this is in the quarter-final against Scotland, and he had 2 lots of tickets, right? Here's your ticket for Brisbane for the semi-final. And in this hand, if we lose, are your tickets home on Sunday. Also in this hand is 100 years of tradition. We've always been world champions. We've just never had a competition. And he threw both in the air, and they all went on the ground. Yeah, I think the first World Cup was an interesting one. 1987, rugby's not professional, and then there's this World Cup and it's coming to New Zealand. So the atmosphere going in was weird. It was, the first game against Italy, it was a Friday afternoon and there was only like 13,500 people there. And I knew that we had a really good side.
So David Kirk, the 25-year-old, coming back to be the New Zealand team's captain.
I knew that we had a side that could really win this. I knew that we had a side that was fit, hungry, couldn't wait to get going.
The Grant Box begins, the first ever Rugby World Cup. John Kirwan, it's an 18-metre run, right up the field. And what a way to bring up 50 points in an rugby test for the first time.
The Italian try for me, I call it the Italian try. I don't watch it, but it was more of a personal try for me. So I have to take you back, probably 12 months before that, I was butchering with my dad. Professional rugby was still another 10 years away. It was post-95 World Cup. We all had jobs, we all had normal lives, and, people didn't train, like people were bankers, farmers, and I said to Dad, I can't sidestep and keep my pace. So I've got a good sidestep, but once I step, I've drained all my pace. And he said to me, oh, okay, are you willing to pay the price? And I sort of looked at me, hey, like willing to pay the price? Yeah, of course. And anyway, I'm at work and I've finished all the sausages. It's sort of just after lunchtime, I've cleaned up. And a guy called Neville Denton walks in, right? Neville Denton was a famous rugby league player. So the conversation goes a bit like this. Neville says to Dad, oh, your boy's not that good, eh? And my dad goes, nah. Okay, so he says, come with me, we go outside. So there's this thing called Twin Oak Drive, and there's a whole row of trees that have been planted. So we walk in there, and he goes, right, run through these trees. And the trees are massive, and there's 4 trees, and then a gap of about 2 metres, and then another 5 trees. So I accelerate, I step the first one, that's fine. I go to step the second one, boom, I hit the tree. And I actually fall over. And he just shakes his head. Righto, boy, that's enough. So I'm pretty hacked off with myself, right? So we go back, we walk in, and Dad says to Neville, how'd it go? And Neville goes, nah, you're right, your boy's not that good. So I went back every single night. I went back every single night for the next 9 months until I could run through those trees at 100%.
Here it came from the kickoff. Down to David Kirk, into Fox, and Kirwan begins a run. Mark the spot where he got the ball.
I remember getting the ball off Foxy, and I saw a gap, and I can see it now in my head, and I accelerated, but then you came into there, and I knew I've got to step, so I just automatically stepped, right?
This is just marvellous running.
So when you step, you've got to keep that acceleration. So I knew that I step and then accelerate out the other way. The Italian try is more about trees, it's just that they were humans.
It's a standing ovation all around the crowd as the Auckland hero John Kirwan scores a try that they'll never forget here at Eden Park.
One of the greatest things for me, being an old bugger now, is actually sharing some of these memories with mates that were there with me. So I'm just going to call Kipper. You probably know him as John Gallagher, one of the most talented fullbacks I played with. And he's online now. Kipper, hello mate.
JK, wonderful to see you.
Always a pleasure, my friend. But we're talking about that first game, the World Cup game. Where were you, by the way? Were you fat tracking it down the middle of the pitch, hoping I'd go that way?
When Foxy threw you the pass, by the time you got to about the halfway line, I knew you were going to score. You're picking up the ball well inside your own half, and beating the whole of the opposition. And so what I did, I positioned myself far left, just in case you got cramp and had to get rid of the ball when the ball was up ways. I'd never expected you to pass to me, by the way.
I was never going to pass it to you, Kipper. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was, and I didn't realise this till it was mentioned today, that was the first time that the All Blacks had scored over 50.
I think from my own point of view, I was just so wrapped up in the game.
Shelford. Fox. Nice little sidestep, Kirk. And now Kirwan.
Oblivious to the score, really, because it was just a question of, here comes the ball. Make sure I get my line right. Make sure if there's room, I go myself or I flick it to you or Greeno. And so I was just so focused on the moment that I didn't allow myself to think of bigger things.
The game is over 70 points to 6 for New Zealand.
So, Kipper, let's morph to the final, mate.
It's a 20-point victory for the All Blacks in the Rugby World Cup final of 1987.
I always remember coming off the field and just feeling relief that we hadn't let our ancestors down more than celebration. I don't know, how did you feel?
Exactly, I agree. I mean, one of relief, that was the biggest thing, because, from my point of view, I'd only been in the country sort of 3 years. And I remember in the All Black changing room before the final, I was thinking, what am I doing here? It's, and I was thinking, I cannot let anybody down. I just cannot let. So huge relief when we won. This is still, a massive defining moment, for both of us. Life-changing, eh?
Well, a great hometown victory and a great moment for rugby in New Zealand. World Cup winners.
Did you go back to work on Monday?
Yeah. So flew home on the Sunday, and then me and Murray Pearce, who was our second row, we were both based at Wellington Central Police Station, and they put us out on parade. So we walked the beat down Lapson Quay and Willis Street for 9 to 5, sort of Monday to Friday, and then we went back to shift work after that.
Well, Kipper, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. I'm looking forward to catching up with you, and thanks for the memories, mate, and I will see you in France.
I'll see you in Paris.
See you in Paris.
Au revoir.